What's up, world? Happy birthday to the kid. We celebrating like a motherfucker. And fuck you if you hella hate me.
Hey, y'all already know what it is. Yo, we still crazy. Word to Pop. To ask you a question right quick. What's the greatest thing you learned from Tupac Shakur himself?
Time goes by.
You already know what it is. Don't get the wrong idea, huh? Blessings, everybody. This is your boy Young YC, Young Cal, live right here on the very first episode of CALi.
Wait, hold on, man. It's your first one?
Mm-hmm.
Man, you gotta get me back when you have a few more in. I was bullshit.
Alright, so the first thing I just want people to know is my mom actually had met Big first. You know what I mean? And this was like back in like 2003, like when you know, in the club, and 50 Cent was the biggest thing in the world, you know what I mean? And I'll never forget the day, you know, she had called me because they were working in Vegas together. And I guess they had met up in the casino and whatnot. And she had called me just ecstatic. You know, my mom's the biggest Big Boy fan there is out there, you know, beside me, of course, you know. But no, she called me ecstatic, you know, happy. She's like, you'll never guess who I'm with right now. And I was like, who? She's like, Big Boy. And I was like, for real, you know? So I was like, just, yo, Mom, just, yo, tell them to shout me out, you know, when they next time that they play in the club, you know, tell them to, you know, give me a shout out, you know, and you know, from then on, you know, I will always, you know, respect Big, you know, just for showing that kind of love to my mom, you know what I mean? Because, you know, I will always appreciate it, you know, and that just made me the biggest Big Boy fan, you know what I mean, with just the genuine love he shared with my mother and the family. So, you know, that's why I've always admired him. I'll always respect him, and to me, I'll always be, like I said, the biggest Big Boy fan there is. So. And as you can see,
You went for the big dog on the first one. Hello.
And I'm honored, actually, to have this gentleman here, the legend himself, Hall of Fame radio host himself, Big Boy, the voice of Los Angeles, sitting next to me. You know, I'm first of all, Big, I just want to say thank you, man, for, you know, taking your time out, you know, and to come and sit with me.
Just hurry up.
Oh, okay. All right, well, you know, I feel like the word Big Boy in the city of Los Angeles, like, I feel like, you know, when people hear the name Big Boy, you know what I mean, Los Angeles is the first thing that comes. I feel like they're synonymous, and you have been a part of, you know, you have given so much of yourself to the soil and been a part of so many different historic events, you know, and hosted many of them. One of my favorites was the Nipsey Hussle marathon store opening where he cut the ribbon. You know, out of being part of so many historic moments like that, does any of them stand out to you as, you know, one of your personal favorite? Like, where something?
There's no personal favorites. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when you just brought up Nipsey and doing a marathon store cutting that ribbon, I knew that was special just that day, Cal. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't when you look back and you say, we lost a great one. You know, it makes it different now. But when Nip hit me up to do that, I thought that was special because he could have called anyone, and anyone could have done that, and they would have did it because they were honored to do so. I was really honored, bro, to go down there and do that. So cutting the ribbon there, bro, that was amazing for me. And then when you fast forward and we lost Nip, it has a different texture to it. You know what I'm saying? The pictures, when I look at it, the pictures feel different. The day feel different. You know, one of our last times, like, hanging was at Marathon, and even when I wear the sweatsuit, I just wore it I think yesterday, that feels different. Absolutely. You know, so I get those kind of moments, man, and it's not just hosting. It's, you know, there's times when you think like man, I remember my first time going to Disneyland as a radio personality and being, you know, presented with the Baker Boys and being at Power, and people, you know, like, damn, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? You get so many of those kind of moments where even the first time, you know, Snoop Dogg came in, like you get a lot of moments, man. I have 25 years, homie, of great fucking memories. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And with you asking a question, I'll get in the car and I'll still come up with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's so many, man, and there's small moments too. There's small moments. I think some of the best moments, man, are. It's not like, oh, okay, damn, like you went to the White House, you met Barack Obama. That's like some dope shit. But for somebody to come up to you and say, man, you got me through this, or I listen to you every day. People think you get used to that shit. You don't get used to that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You get. I can't explain what that feels like. That somebody say, I've been listening to you my whole life, or I've been listening to you since I was a kid. I even get people that just started listening to me last week. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So those are, I think you get the most daily like nods. That's what I get. You know, like daily nods, man. Like, oh, I heard the phone tap this morning. That shit was hilarious. That kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's one of the most fulfilling things, bro. And I think it's more of the everyday people. You know, and I still trip off of a commercial could come on and I be like, damn, that's me. Or somebody say, big boy, and I'm like, damn, that's me. You know, and I pray to God that I never get used to it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I'm actually definitely one of those people that grew up, you know, listening. You said 25 years, you know, in the game, and you know, you definitely helped me through a lot as well. So, you know, I'm always a fan first and foremost.
And that was why it was so important to do this with you as well. You know what I'm saying? Because I see you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, man.
I see you, man, and you come out and you always show love. You know, and
Mandatory.
Those are the ones. It's not mandatory. You know what I'm saying?
For me.
But those are the ones, bro, that not, oh, I gotta take care of him. You just see it, man, and there's like a relationship that you gotta preserve. It ain't about numbers and ratings and all that shit. It's just that, man, you literally, I've seen you stop your day to come and fuck with us. I've seen you in Pomona. You know, I've seen you in LA. I've seen you at concerts. I've seen you in Downey. You know, I call it love.
One of the memories that I will always remember with Big was probably, you know, the first time we met. You know, he had actually come over, you know, to my city, you know, in Covina at a spot called Three Vinos. And, you know, this is when he was making his transition, you know, from one station to the other. And, you know, when I had met him for the first time, you know, that was the first thing that I had brought to him was, you know, the story of, you know, him and my mother in Vegas. You know, and, you know, I told it to him, and, you know, after I was done telling it to him, the first thing he said was, call her. And I was like, all right, you know, and then, so I did, you know, I called my mom. I was like, yo, someone here wants to speak with you, you know, and then, you know, she's like, who, you know, and he takes the phone from me, and he goes, Lisa, you know, and I just, like, I did the double take, you know, and I just knew that, you know, that was, like, the beginning of something beautiful, you know what I mean, and that was just, you know, an amazing moment for me, you know, and he invited her over, you know, to come over to Three Vinos where we were, you know, he's like, hell, I'm over here with Cal right now, you know, come on down. She did, and, you know, they had met up again, you know, took pictures, and it was just a beautiful night, you know, we had drinks, and, you know, that was probably the moment that, and the night that meant the most to me, for sure. Not at all.
No, bro.
No, for me, it's just always been about, you know, like people say they, you know, they love their soil, they love their city, they love where they're from, you know what I mean? And like, but for me, it's always about showing it. I support the movements that spread positivity.
No, you show up, bro. Real
and, you
shit.
know what I mean? Like,
you show up.
You know, and like I always say, you know, you met my mom first, you showed her, you know, love, like when you guys were out in Vegas together. So ever since then, like I've always admired, you know,
Beautiful,
the fact
brother.
that you show love to my, you know, my fam. But as I say, you know, you have 25 years in the game, and you've definitely, like, I feel like you're an hip-hop encyclopedia unto yourself. You know, you've seen hip-hop go through many different changes over the years. How do you feel about the state of hip-hop where it is now, and is there anything that you would like to see more or less of in the game?
You know what, man? I would like to see a little bit more of knowledge of the craft. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, I love to see where the genre's gone as far as being the biggest consumed genre of all music. I love that. But I also, man, like, the floodgates of shit that come in as well. And people removing themselves from the core. You know, like, if you're gonna eat off of this or you're gonna do anything off of it, man, respect it too. You know what I'm saying? Don't piss on your own steps. Don't fuck up your couch and fuck up your house. You know, this is hip hop, man. Somebody did a whole lot more than you for a whole lot less than you. You know what I'm saying? Than you're doing right now. I mean, so. It's what you're doing. So I'm saying, man, just take care of it, man. I see motherfuckers pissing on plaques and eating cakes off they shit, and find out who the fuck Rakim is and Kool Herc, and you know what I'm saying? Like really Google DJ Kool Herc. If you gotta Google that, I'm not gonna say shame on you because you probably just don't know. But understand where this hip hop came from. We try to distance ourselves so much from the core. That's old school shit. Oh, y'all ain't getting no money. These motherfuckers paved the way. I would just like to see a little bit more respect. I would like to see, people getting a little more. We starting to see it now, Cal, where we're getting a little more crafty again. We're starting to write, and maybe we're pressing play on that even more so. Too, because we are getting artists that's coming with some substance, But hip hop has always been that. It's always been, Joski Love, Pee Wee Dance, and Public Enemy, Welcome to the Terror Dome or some shit. There's always been extremes. It's just that now it seems like it's being weighed different,
Yeah, I'd love to see a whole lot more acknowledgement as well, for the ones that paved the way for us, and I can't, for me it's always mandatory to, to salute our OGs, the ones that, gave us, that gave us.
Like I trip off of, you see people now disrespecting Pac. Whatever, even if you feel a certain way about Pac, man, you know what I'm saying? There's just some things. Are you saying it for shock value? You know what I'm saying? Are you saying we used to fuck people up back in the days too? We used to protect turf and coast and all that shit, but it's like we'll say anything just to say anything. Like shut the fuck up. Like
Well, it's become it's become very shallow, you know what I mean? I feel like, if we can just keep a universal mindset, I understand that everything has to evolve, you know what I mean? But,
And evolution's not bad, you know what I'm saying? It's not bad, but you got to be careful of where you taking it to and how it's viewed. And, we can't really police the gates anymore of who's getting in because, shit, you at the house, you're an artist now. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, Well, on your way, to becoming a Radio Hall of Famer as well, you also dabbled in other ventures. Like you eventually made your way, to the big screen, certain movies, Soul Plane and Malibu's Most Wanted, even one of the legendary E40 videos, and you even made an appearance in the Proud Family, with your experience and in working in all those different stages, did it help you, help make you better like at entertaining and on the air and when you go host events as well?
Yeah, it's definitely branding. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember I used to be, I was a video whore at one point, man. I was damn near a video vixen in this motherfucker. I was not even a video vixen. I was a whore. Motherfucker used to call me. I'd be like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll be there. Because I was just so happy to do everything, And so then I've always, even when I was doing some of the most other shit in life, I always kind of wanted to be, I always knew I was going to do something in entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So if I was tripping over here with life, I always had this other thing where I was like, man, I want to do this entertainment thing. So when you do Proud Family and Deuce Bigelow and all those kind of movies and shit, it's really just you working your brand. You like, damn, they want me to do a movie? Like, hell yeah. They want me to do a cartoon? Yeah. I'm an author. I wrote a book, And when you start to look at certain shit in the rearview mirror as opposed to looking out the windshield, you look back and you're like, damn, that's a lot of shit. And it may be a lot of shit, but what I'm looking at is so much more ahead of me. So when I do the movies, when I do the television shows, especially early on, man, it was like, I was the guy, like now, anybody that kind of know me, when I do something, I'm kind of done. I don't watch my interviews. You know what I'm saying? I'm done. Man, you let me fuck around. And when I did Jamie Foxx show, I was sitting down watching Jamie Foxx show like this. Like, oh, look at this mother, because I'm Ida's son, bro. You know what I'm saying? I made it through a lot of shit that people didn't think we were gonna make it through. You know what I'm saying? So while we celebrate others, you know, I celebrate myself too. Not in a braggadocious, double jointed, dick sucking way, but I understand, like, damn, like, man, Big, you did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, Ida's son. I did that, you know. So, and that's the smallest shit. I still trip off of people asking to take a picture, and I'm probably in their phone somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy to me. But I've done something that made you ask, could you take a picture? Like, that's crazy. So when I do see something with a movie or watching, you know, my kids recently, I showed them Deuce Bigelow my parts, and they were blown away. You know what I'm saying? So it helps. You know what I'm saying? And it's fun at the same time.
And you know, I've always considered you, you know, the greatest of all time as far as, you know, broadcasting within radio is considered. And one thing that I'm sure Ida's son is proud of is to say that he was amongst another GOAT, you know, by the name of Tupac Amaru Shakur, who I'm sure we'll both agree, you know, his influence and impact, you know, is still remain untouched in the game, as we were saying earlier, you know. What was one thing that you learned from him, probably the most powerful thing that you learned from him while being around Pac? Is there a Tupac story that you can share with us?
Yeah, man. One is, I remember